Hello everybody, good morning, it's Matthew Street. Welcome to my channel. As always, I truly appreciate you being here. And folks, it's with a heavy heart that I'm here early this morning making this video. I had other videos planned possibly today because I had some time off. I was thinking of another Beatles idea video, and then I had some other music I wanted to talk about with you. But for today, I've put all that on hold, folks, because we lost somebody over this past weekend. Now, we don't know the exact date yet, but Eric Howard Carmen, yes, that Eric Carmen has passed away. We don't know the exact date. His wife, Amy, posted it on their webpage or Facebook or something like that on March 11th, just like yesterday, and said that he had passed over the past few days. We don't know the exact date yet. We don't know what caused Eric's death. We just know he's no longer with us. He was 74 years old, born August 11th, 1949 in Cleveland, and he died in Ohio. I think it's Lyndhurst, Ohio is where he passed away, where he lived. Folks, this is a tough one for me. If you've been a fan of my channel or a viewer or subscriber, you know how much the Raspberries and Eric Carmen too have meant to me. Now, I can't show it to you because behind this collage behind me, which has grown over the past couple of years, I have a beautiful signed lithograph by the original members of the Raspberries, Dave Smalley, Jim Bonfanti, Wally Bryson, and Eric. And it's one of my most treasured pieces. And it will be revealed again. I'm going to get it from behind there eventually, but it's hanging right up behind me. Folks, when I was a kid, 1972, I think it was my middle cousin gave me this album. They didn't want it anymore, whatever. They were getting older. They were older than me, my cousins. I've talked about them before with the Beatles and stuff, but I was gifted this album, Fresh Raspberries. This was my intro to the Raspberries when I was turning 11 years old in 1972. And folks, I never looked back. When I heard I Want to Be With You, when I heard Let's Pretend, and eventually with this album, Go All the Way, Don't Want to Say Goodbye. I could go on and on. Tonight, Ecstasy on side 3. This is the first self-titled album. Matter of fact, sitting on my desk right here for the past couple of weeks, I keep like stacks of things. If you saw that video where I did behind the scenes not too long ago, I show on my desk here. If you noticed on the desk when I did that video, right on the top of the record stack was this. Their final album, Raspberries, Starting Over. I mean, I just, these guys and Eric just never leave my consciousness. They never leave my periphery. That's how much I love their music. And Eric, even his solo music has meant so much to me. Again, this is not a show and tell. I just want to show you how much he meant to me. Having his first solo album, and I have the vinyl of this, but I didn't want to just dig everything out. I'd have to go through everything, but I have his first solo album. One of my first Raspberry compilation CDs you probably all have, many of you. This is the beautiful one you have to get, a double CD set. This is the most recent release of Eric's, the Essential Eric Carmen. I can't recommend this one enough, folks. It has Raspberries, has all his solo hits, everything. This is the one you want right here. Get it, please. Show support for Eric and his music. The Essential Eric Carmen, it's out there. You can get it. The Raspberries reunited in 2005 and 2007, and I was so hopeful that that reunion would continue, but, personal differences came back in again. There were other issues. It only lasted a couple of years from 05 to 07, but they did some wonderful reunion shows, and Eric looked and sounded so good, and they were in their late 50s when they did this reunion in 05 and 07, 56 years old. They're all about the same age, the original Raspberries. They were all born in 1949, so they were all like 56, 58 years old during that reunion, but we got 2 wonderful reunion albums out of it. Live albums, Pop Art Live and Live on the Sunset Strip. Highly recommended, folks. Eric sounded so good. There's a tutorial of that tour, of those shows, from the reunion 05 to 07, Raspberries Tonight. There's the guys. I can't, there's a nice picture of Eric on that tour with Wally. Folks, I can't stress enough how talented this man was and how much he meant to me in my life. His music, it's just always been around me. His solo music, I'm just heartbroken right now, folks. And I know what you say, oh, Matt, we all get older. We all, these things happen. I get it, folks. But, it's a cycle of life. I get it. I'm going to be 63 this year. I'm 62 right now. And I go, yeah, Eric's always been like 12 years older than me or so. But when I was that little 11-year-old, he was only like 23 or something. He's always been a hero of mine. And when I was getting picked on, nothing like bullying today, but when you're in high school and you're listening to the Beatles in the mid to late 70s, the Beatles, the Raspberries, Badfinger, some of the new wave that was coming out at the time, and all the other kids are listening to disco or what we now consider classic rock, and nothing against all that music. I love much of it. Kansas, and they're listening to Styx and Aerosmith and that kind of, Kiss or whatever they're listening to back then, and I love all that stuff. But I'm more focused on, the Beatles and 60s British invasion and pop and Raspberries and, the upcoming power pop that was coming into the forefront. It's you can't really go up to a lot of kids and say, oh, you're listening to Aerosmith's new Draw the Line album. Oh, look what I got, from, even though it was only a few years earlier, but it's still considered like ancient history. And when you in 1978 or whatever, you know what I mean? It just brings fond memories, folks, because I loved Eric and his music so much, and I don't know what to say. I didn't plan anything here, folks. Raspberry Scrapbook by Ken Sharp, highly recommended, folks. I don't know what to say. Promo of one of his 80s albums, Eric Carmen, self-titled. Eric Carmen, Boats Against the Current. Oh my goodness. Eric Carmen, you're gonna get it. Well, I forget the name of this one. It hurts so much. It's a big hit on here. I'm just at a loss for words right now, folks. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep a brave face here. I don't want, people would say you get emotional with somebody like this. Why? You didn't know him. I did know him. We did know him. If you were a fan of his music, folks, it just meant so much to me. I listen to him and his music all the time, whether it's Raspberries or his solo stuff, or I think this could be his final solo album. It's very hard to find. I'm hoping it gets a general release now that he's passed. But Winter Dreams, this is his final solo album, full solo album. I hope there's more material coming. I hope his estate, his wife Amy, will know how much joy he brought to the fans, and we'd love to hear more music from Eric, whatever we can get. Folks, there's box sets out there, all 4 original Raspberries albums in this beautiful box. Seek it out, get it. It's worth it, folks. If you've never gotten into this man and his music, I can't stress it enough. I'm going to leave shortly, folks, but I just wanted to pay tribute to Eric because 74, such good shape. If you've ever seen the reunion stuff from 2005 to 2007, he's in such great form. He's in great shape. He's fit and trim. He sounds wonderful. I've seen fairly recent interviews with him on YouTube, over the last few years, and he looked good for his age, late 60s, coming into his 70s. So I don't know what happened. I guess it's life. Things happen, illnesses happen, and we'll find out eventually, I'm sure. But what a tragedy for me, folks, and many of you, I'm sure. Eric was just so talented, so underrated. Sometimes I think he and the Raspberries deserve much more acclaim than they get. And I'm going to leave you now, folks. I'm going to leave you now. But play some music by Eric Carmen today, whether it's Raspberries or his solo stuff. There's so much material, plenty of it you can tap into, and you'll find the joy in it. You'll find the love in it and the talent. And that's it. Eric Carmen, we just lost him. And don't forget, he played with Ringo's All-Star Band for one tour and did a bang-up job. We love you, Eric. We're going to miss you. Eric Carmen passed away over the last couple of days, folks. We'll get more details, but I wanted to get this out to you. I love you all. We love Eric Carmen and his music. Let's listen to some Eric Carmen today, and going forward, listen to more of it. Love you all. Bye-bye.